up trying to do more than one episode here because this actually looks pretty cool. It's a backdrop.
It's pretty legit.
We're live, guys.
Oh wow! I can see up in the corner. I can see the whole time frame and everything. We have 0 viewers, but that's cool.
Yep. Oh man. So you know who this young man is. So you got to introduce him. He's like he has a ginger beard. So you gotta talk about him real quick.
Yeah, I didn't know you had such a ginger beard.
Actually, I know, right? It's red. It's pretty red.
Through this thing full screen,
especially in the summertime. It gets pretty wet red.
This is Joel, correct?
Yes, Joel? There you go, Joel.
Joel goes to BallisticBuilt CrossFit, same as me. He trains in the mid-afternoons. Not much of a class guy. I think he's just trying to keep all his skills and his strength to himself. He doesn't like to share his games with anybody. Joel can tell you more about him, but he's one of the teams, or one half of one of the teams that we are sending to BCS Classic. Pretty good dude so far as I've known you. It's been what, like 4 months ish since I've known you.
Since April.
Yeah, I mean, this podcast. We've had some high profile people on this, but we haven't necessarily been exclusive to anybody. So having regular people that do amazing things pretty much on a weekly basis, like Ken, in putting this podcast together, we try to bring on and then just talk to people, talk about any subject that we can come up with. Sometimes like the more experienced people, I guess, or like the more famous people, like having a Matt Fraser on, we had to know what we were going to talk about a little bit.
Yeah.
But go ahead, Joe. Tell the people who you are, what you do, what makes you special.
What makes me special? As of right now, I'm a coach at a gym, so it's like a functional fitness gym. Nothing too rough. I mean, they just get in there, get sweaty, They do like a bunch of M-RAPs and EMOMs. But yeah, so it's more functional fitness. I've been doing CrossFit since 2018. I drank the Kool-Aid back then when I was just trying to get fit. And then like a year later, I lost the weight. And then after that, I wanted to compete. And I've just been training since then. But yeah.
You said 2018?
I'm not much to say about me. What's that?
2018? You say you started in 2018?
Yes, 2018. Yes.
Oh. So,
but yeah,
he's been doing it.
I actually got into CrossFit after I left the Army.
Oh, dang.
So, Joel was an Army medic, if I'm not incorrect, right?
Mechanic. Army mechanic.
Oh, still the M word.
Jeez. Were you track or wheeled vehicle? What were you?
So I was a all-wheel vehicle. So I worked on any type of wheels, but I was also recovery. So I recovered all the vehicles and track. I did track vehicles as well when it comes to recovery.
Where were the
So recovery means like, so Fort Hood was the biggest station I was, and then I was overseas for a while. So like at Fort Hood I would stay at Fort Hood for like a year, and then I would go to like Eastern Europe, and then come back, and then I went back to Korea. I Camp Stanley, and then came back. And then when I left active duty, I went National Guard, and which brought me to San Antonio. And San Antonio, I was with a medevac company. Maybe that's why you thought the medic part, because I was with a medevac company over here called Martindale.
Okay.
With all Blackhawks.
All Blackhawks? Oh.
Yeah.
Was that up at Camp Bullis, or was that on Fort Sam?
So it was a smaller fort. It was called Martindale, which is near Fort Sam. I would say it's hidden. It's like a hidden place. You really can't see it at all. It's like if you're going through, I want to say I-90, and there's a truck stop. Like you literally cannot see it unless I gave you directions to get there. So it's pretty legit. I enjoyed it a lot. but I was focusing more on going to college. So when I actually left the guard, I focused on getting my degree. So I say with my kinesiology degree, and then I started getting my training more serious. So so I focused on the school, and now I'm just focusing just legit full time, and then I just work part time.
Huh. So, how long were you in the military?
What's that?
How long were you in the Army? Can you hear me?
Wait. Can you hear?
I hear you now.
Uh-oh, his
no.
service is bad. His service
Oh
is bad.
no.
Oh no. His service is bad.
Well, so if we have to, we'll get him
Yeah.
something.
I'm willing to bet that he was in like 7 or 8 years maybe.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he fell off. We'll re-invite him in there. It's not a big deal. What's his? Oh no, he's back. There we go. Bam.
Sorry, I got kicked out.
Yeah, what's happening, man? You trying to ditch us?
Terrible service.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
He can't hear shit.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Damn it, man. Where are you parked? What oak tree are you
Are
under?
you parked in the boondocks? In the boonies?
How far away from the gym?
No,
How far away from the gym are you?
You know what? This is what I'm gonna do.
What does it say?
I'm like 5 minutes away from the gym. I'll just use their Wi-Fi. I mean, I have full bars, but I can use their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, go ahead. Go to the
If that's
gym
okay.
and then join back in. Ken and I will take it.
Yeah.
from here.
All right.
No, we're just gonna sit here and talk shit.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna talk some shit, and that way when he gets back, we'll have something else to talk about as well.
Yeah, 100%.
So let's start with this. So welcome to our new format. We had a little bit of hiccups getting in here. We have new StreamYard app that we're using, so hopefully we can go live every time now. The backdrop looks fucking dope. And what most people probably are going to notice here, and I think you should probably pay attention to the top right corner, is we are now no longer just sponsored by one company, realistically. Okay. We are now fucking paid podcasters.
Just barely though.
We are fucking paid, boy. Now, we're earning, pennies on the dollar compared to most actual professional podcasters. But you know what? Fuck them. Because they get paid, and I can say that I get paid. I just have what now constitutes an agreement to mention our sponsor, who is the one and only Gooder Sunglasses, which is now the CrossFit Games 2022 official sunglass sponsor. So we are actually now brought to you guys by a legitimate company that not only pays us, and they're going to pay us well, handsomely, for the amount of episodes that we have and the amount of work that we do. And then hopefully one day I can bring that contract back to them. And I hope they hear this. I'm going to wipe my ass with this first contract. And I'm going to say, we deserve more because we're going to get you guys a shit ton of viewers, a shit ton of money. You guys are going to love us. So I hope that in the next, 2-3 years, I get to wipe my ass with that first contract and say, hey, you're going to have to bump that number up there, guys.
Let's do better.
Because we're not going to be cheap dates in 2 years. Okay? I'm not going to put out for anything less than, maybe 5. Maybe 10. I don't know. I mean, Joe Rogan, he's the number one paid podcaster in the world, and I think he's making $50K per ad read.
That's insane.
$50K. Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer are making $20 an ad read.
I wish that was that much.
Each. So, I mean, any company that goes on those major podcasts, like I know Cash App is on Joe Rogan. They're paying him $50 just to mention their fucking name.
So, yeah, use Cash App.
Yeah, great. Right, or like Athletic Greens is using them. No
We
free
don't need
shout
that
outs.
much.
I
We'll
don't
take
use Athletic
$100
Greens.
to shout out.
No free shout outs, but I don't use Athletic Greens, and I think Athletic Greens is shit because they're not paying me to use them. So that's my personal opinion there. But first and foremost, we'll go through our first ad read. Oh my god, this is our first charged ad read. I can't fucking wait.
It's so awesome.
Now I don't know. Did they ever send us anything?
Yeah, I sent it to you. Remember?
Okay, well I'll pull that up later in the episode, but this one I'm doing off the cuff.
Just gonna fumble it. I'll just put it in a private chat for you. How about that?
Yeah, you go ahead. You do that. But first and foremost, everybody should go to gooder.com. Okay. I don't believe that there's a difference between Beast Gooder sunglasses and goodersunglasses.com. I think it keeps you all in the same realm. But what everybody needs to do is not be a shitty human being. And for sure, drop the Nike sunglasses that you're wearing. Drop the Oakleys. Granted, I'm one of them. The sunglasses I wear because they were my dad. So they're not Gooder sunglasses. But needless to say, go to gooder.com, get yourself a reliable, good pair of sunglasses that are cost affordable. Even the drunk kids at the frat boy house can afford these sunglasses, and they can afford to look good. Now, the second half of this is because they are the official sunglass sponsor of the CrossFit Games, is you're going to see every douchey CrossFitter who may or may not be taking steroids. We don't know. Okay? Gooder doesn't know that, but they're sponsoring the game. So Gooder doesn't do any of the drug testing, so they don't know if douchey people are wearing their sunglasses. But what I do know is the CrossFit Games primarily go through extremely good quality companies. They do their research. They know who they're paying. They know who's paying them to be a part of it. Gooder is one of those companies now. I think, what was it? Gator Sunglasses at one point was a sponsor. I think Oakley did a sponsorship. Yeah, Gator was like, I want to say like 2016 or something like that. I remember Matt Frazier and all them wearing them on competition for it. They're like the ones that like all the SF dudes wear. But go to gooder.com, get yourself a good, reliable pair of sunglasses. They're built extremely well. They're light, but they also stay on your head. The cushion they have that runs along the side of the ear is phenomenal. Keeps the sunglasses on your head even when you're sweating. If you're looking for a pair of sunglasses to do workouts in, all you're doing, maybe you spend $50 to get two very good pairs of sunglasses, variety of different shapes, colors, designs, styles, lenses. They're prism lenses. They're the lenses that block out the sun to a higher degree. All you got to do, go over to gooder.com. There's no promo code from us, I believe, correct?
Yeah, not right now.
No. So just go over there, buy a pair of sunglasses, and then go down to the homepage, go down to contact us, and let them know that the boys at It's Not All Black and White sent you.
Exactly.
If you guys don't do that, you're a shitty human being.
We're going to find you.
You're a shitty human being because that tells them that we are influencing their sales. But if not, you just look like another person that found Gooder on Google or something. And honestly, I don't believe that you did that. You found them here. And we are your parents. And we were telling you to buy Gooder sunglasses. Okay, I just gave my mother-in-law a pair. She fucking loves them. She went with the Amelia Earhart Ghosted Me. Okay. My wife wears I believe it's like cool mint. It's like a mint green on top of a green. Fucking loves them. They look like what are the Oakley pair? It's like the Brook.
Gas.
No, it's like the Brooklyn something. Brook House or something like that. It's like the more squared version of like the sporty sunglasses. My wife loves them. She takes them everywhere she goes, even including on this like 14-hour trip that we just made. So enough of that first ad read. I think that was like a 4 or 5 minute ad read. But
we're just gonna share the page with them. Let's just do that. Let's just share the page and go to their. Here we go. Bam. Share. See that, guys?
Oh God.
There we go.
That's a freedom hard on right there.
Yeah, right there. Look at that.
That dog looks like he's ready to go find some Indias.
Some life.
Other dogs.
Oh, you are just terrible. Just terrible.
By the way, everybody, Ken's dog likes to watch other dogs on TV and get aroused out of it. So
you get aroused. She is a saint.
now with the attitude she had.
God. She's
So
she's sitting there. So backstory, she was sitting there a while. I was like, I'm interested in seeing if she likes, I don't know, dogs on TV. So they had like this, not Kentucky Derby, but dogs running around a track. She's just sitting there going, shh, shh, shh. I'm like, you good? She's like, shh, shh. I'm like, dude, this is amazing.
For everybody who's wondering why you guys are listening to the audio show, there's Ken essentially trying to pant like a dog while turning around smiling, which I don't know that dogs can actually do, except I think my dog smiles quite often.
They can't. They just drop that tongue out of their mouths. What if we had a tongue that long? That's crazy.
Probably all the women on this planet would be very, very happy.
All of them?
Well, I mean, if men had tongues that long.
Guess who we got back?
Oh, damn. Cool. And we got the perfect question. You ready for this, Joel?
Yeah, I'll move it. What's up?
All right. So if all men had tongues like dogs, like long tongues that could do, like come out of the mouth really far, do you think that all women on this planet would be happy?
Shit.
Ooh, I mean, Jay, I would say yes. I mean, shit. You know who you should ask is the guy from Kiss. What's his name? Lead singer.
Oh.
Yeah, but I don't feel like he's licking that much stuff anymore. He's probably licking the inside of his Go-Gurt bottle.
He's like got one of those Yoplait containers. He's getting all the yogurt out of the inside.
Yeah, what is it? Gene Simmons?
Gene
Simmons. There you go.
I have a feeling he's probably getting ready to go into some old person house. I'd probably just ask for more Go-Gurt.
We're going to go ahead and ask this. Joel, would you ever take steroids? Bam, there we go. We asked it.
Damn. Would I ever take steroids? If I was doing a bodybuilding, like if I was going into bodybuilding, then maybe, I guess, but not CrossFit. I don't see, like, you're going to get caught if you do that. I believe you're going to get caught if you do steroids. But I mean, bodybuilding is different, but I don't care for bodybuilding.
So if there was a rule that said that you could not use steroids, like there is in CrossFit, you would not use steroids, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
See, there we go.
Now, I'm going to play devil's avocado here.
Avocado.
Okay. I think that we should all just be able to take as many steroids as we want, right? Like baseball was better with steroids.
So I'm gonna hit you with that real quick. So if someone's competing, if I personally think if there's gonna be a sport and everyone wants to watch a sport, you shouldn't limit to what they can or cannot take. Because if you look at the World's Strongest Men, the Rogue Strongest Men, they don't get tested, right? And they're huge. All they want, and you know, if anything, that probably helps them being safe. They're lifting that much, you know. I don't know, but I would feel like using the PEDs will actually help them getting injured because they're lifting over 700, 800 pounds.
I think the realm of PEDs has changed since like the 90s when everybody heard that, like, oh, if you take steroids, it's for sure your bone density gets lower, your fucking testicles shrink up, you start to sound like a girl, you fucking develop man titties and shit. And it's like, well, either the science has gotten a lot better, or we're not like shooting juices into our ass all the time anymore. We're just taking pills and supplements and mixes, putting something in our water that all of a sudden we're like, oh shit, I can run like 10 miles now.
Well, yeah, I mean, back then you look in the called the golden era, which is like the 80s, right? And like they didn't know how many milligrams to take. They were just taking, if I take 500 milligrams of this and 500 milligrams of that, they just do all these stacks because they thought doing more was better. But you know, going back to the science, you know, there's a lot of people who are doing less stuff, right? But they're still getting the same results because we do have the science now, and you know.
I would love to see somebody have a sub 1 minute Fran. Like that would be a dream of mine. Like to watch someone do that.
I don't think that that's possible.
I've had this idea. Hear me out.
Okay.
My buddy John helped me come up with it the other day. He mentioned it. It's called the unofficial games, where we get a waiver. That's a grievous death waiver. If you die during this competition, it's all your fault, not mine. And you just take as many drugs as you want. And I just want to see you just go on a 10-mile trail run and crush it in like 20 minutes. Just find out what the human body's capable of on steroids.
Matt Fraser would probably take all the drugs and win.
Open division. Like have like a regular division and have an open division. Open division, whatever it is, what it is.
Yeah, just like the lifters, like power lifters, is like a tested and untested division.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I would love to see that. Tell you the truth, I would love to see big people move real fast. You know,
I think some like a sport like CrossFit, it doesn't pay to have people just unceremoniously take drugs or take PEDs. I think the limitation is what makes it better because you literally see what somebody can produce naturally. Yeah. Now, granted, baseball, football, hockey, basketball, you can do the same thing, but if we have another Barry Bonds or Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa race, it's more people watching baseball. And now if I see another motherfucker look like Ray Lewis taking somebody's head off,
I mean,
more people are going to watch football.
But also, like, people that take, like, PEDs and CrossFit are just dumb because the $310,000 before taxes doesn't even amount to anywhere near the league minimum in any other professional sport. No. Like you're taking these drugs to get like, I don't know, to win fitness racing. Like, come on, you're risking your prostate.
I mean, they're making the same amount of money that AAA baseball players making.
Yeah.
That's fucking shit.
Like, I don't get it. And from like managing CrossFit athletes too, like even the endorsement deals aren't that much. Like it's not insane like that. Unless you're
getting like that noble paycheck that's like
$275 a year,
$250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't matter if you win the CrossFit Games as long as you go for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, they got that new thing with the jerseys, right? So like it's like the jerseys, the replica jerseys are a lot more now. So it supports the CrossFitter, but they only got like 15 athletes.
It's like $20 to whatever athlete based on the amount that the jerseys are. So I think the jerseys are like $65.
They went from 44 to 65, so they're still trying to get their profit margin out of it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they are, but I do agree that it's something.
Right? I mean, yeah, it's something, but like, don't jack up. Like, don't. Come on now, like.
But that's like when people say like gas prices right now, we're saying like, hey, they're low.
Yeah.
Right. Like 15 cents in some places, and it's like, I think the president put out a tweet that was like, we've dropped gas prices by 50 cents over the last month, which saves the American like driver $25 a month, which we know that's the difference right there. And I was like,
it's not
$25 is my difference for the month. Is that what you think this is?
If I have $25 in my bank account, I got worse problems than gas at that point. I need to
now like
fix a bunch of shit.
That's a shitty version of like understanding like, hey, like it's something, right? Like we all would agree like, hey, $25 isn't shit. When it like if we went back to last year's prices, it would be I'd be saving $75. That's something. That's an actual bill that I can pay. But for CrossFit, I think this is a something that is a movement in the right direction. But I think until honestly, there needs to be a way that when CrossFit can own the games itself, I think is when you don't have a majority sponsor, because then that company, if they are not if it's not the Nike CrossFit Games,
the only way
these athletes are not getting paid.
Yeah, the only way to get it there is to like get venture capital money. And that's from some private donor, not even a label of like Nike or Reebok, venture capital money where people are putting in like $50-60 million a year into CrossFit. And then there comes like the stakeholder problem where like, those people put that much money in, they're the majority shareholder in their company, and now they want to tell you how to run your business. That's what CrossFit doesn't want to be. And then you lose the grassroots part of it. But I mean,
but that's what I'm saying, until CrossFit owns their own games.
Yeah.
But again, that would require gyms paying more or opening more gyms, right, worldwide. And then you have more of a profit margin on that aspect.
I don't know. I think they should go back to the media where they were broadcasting on ESPN. That made them quite a bit.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I feel like they get more viewers that way. I mean, shit, look at the Dubai CrossFit Championship. I don't know if you've seen them, but those athletes, the invitation of those athletes get paid a lot of money. Yeah. I forgot, like even like the last place person gets money.
And they got like, I think the last place person got like $50K.
Yeah, they got
like
money.
crazy.
Like that is a year's salary for most Americans.
Yeah. And like the idea of it before taxes, but the idea of it is like, if you're going to do that and you're going to have people privately chip in money that way for these events, let them do it. Or even better yet, make the agency, like the agents, like I represent athletes with another partner of mine, make it so where we have to get licenses. And the only way to make it so you have to get licenses is when people start betting on the sport. That's when you have to get an agent's license. And if you open it up to people betting, going, "Oh, I bet you such and such is going to win the game this year." All right, there's a over under of like 4-1 or whatever. Those are the odds, and people start doing that. I'm pretty sure people do it privately, but they don't do it like publicly. And if it was able to do it publicly, like on MGM Sports Bet or whatever, dude, imagine that. Imagine you getting kicked back because you went to Waterpalooza and you placed third. You're getting kicked back $50K because someone placed a bet on you and like you kind of hedged it. That'd be pretty awesome.
Ooh,
that'd be amazing. That would make people really take this seriously and like do it hard. That's when you'll start seeing 1 Minute Friends without the drugs.
So, I got a funny story of Waterpalooza. I competed in Waterpalooza last year, and it's so funny. Like, I thought I was a good swimmer until I hit that open water. Yeah. Oh my God. I drowned like at least 4 times. But I made it. But like that was rough. But you know what? Waterpalooza. And speaking of Waterpalooza and different like competitions, which I've been noticing too, especially for athletes, like just getting in and to compete is a lot of money. So not only are you risking a lot of money to compete, you don't. So now you're asking for charities and GoFundMe's and anything like that. Mm-hmm. So it really isn't worth the drugs or the PEDs really for that, because like you said, it's not making a lot of money, especially all the events, all these competitions are it's going up in prices. Yeah. And you only see 1 and 2 and 3 getting the big chunks of change. Everyone else.
Exactly. None of it makes any sense. Like you want people to pay. Okay, so I'll give you a little insight. Here we go. So a bunch of sponsors reached out to a certain athlete that I manage. I'm not going to mention his name because he likes to stay private and all this stuff. He's going to the games. I think Steve knows who he is. We have another teenage athlete that's going to the games. You don't know who he is because he's never been there before. But this year he's probably going to do very, very well. Like essentially for them to get to the games, it's like $5,000 to $7,000 for them to pay their entry fee and just get there and live and eat. Dude, that entry fee is a motherfucker. And, we got companies to subsidize as much as we could, and they took it down to maybe being a K out of their own pockets, their parents' pockets, or their pockets. And like, if you want these people to come and put on this spectacle for you, at least don't charge them a 5th registration fee, because you pay for the open, you pay for quarterfinals, you pay for semifinals, you got to pay to go to fucking semifinals, you got to pay a registration to go to the games, you got to pay to go to the games. Like, it
either sounds to me like they need to budget better on the like actual competition itself, which I get it. Like you want to put on a grand spectacle and all that shit. But like when people show up, when spectators show up, you have to pay for your ticket to get in. Then you have to pay for a seat in the arena. Yep. Then you got to pay for this, that, and another thing, plus vendors, food. Like if you're somebody who's going to the games and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go watch. Yeah, I'm just gonna go do this. All right, be prepared to spend $500.
Yeah.
Because by the time you get in, sit down, thirsty, like cool, yeah, bring a water on your own. Cool. There's no fucking water fountain for you to fill up your water.
Yeah, it's bad.
You're gonna end up out at the Fit Aid booth grabbing like 5 to 10 of those free samples, and by the end of the day, you're gonna have a heart attack or a headache because you have all these fucking extra vitamins in your body, and it's like, this is 500% of our daily intake. What the fuck, man? Snack platter. That's it.
So there's actually an energy drink that was at Waterpalooza, and they were giving all this free stuff. And so like I had some people came with me, right, and they're all free, right? So what I would do, since they're free, and I knew that I would overdo it if I drank too much, I would take maybe like a couple of sips of them, and I would just throw it away because of how much they were free for the whole time. It's funny you say that, but yeah, it gives you a fucking headache if you drink.
Was it your bag?
Yeah, it was your bag.
Called it. Do it. Yeah.
And the worst part is like once you go into Vendor Village, it's like a child being on one of those like phone games where it's like, oh hey, like you need to pay $5 to get like all this money in this video game and shit. And then next thing you know is like mom and dad are like, what the fuck is this $200 worth of charges on my credit card? And they're like, oh, like I needed this thing to make this level and go to here. And it's like when you go in Vendor Village, like first one is probably like Mayhem or some shit, right? And you're like, I'm here. I need to get a Mayhem t-shirt. I have to, right? Like I'm
You
here.
don't have
so
to.
Experience.
That's a
Then
choice.
the next thing is fucking Born Primitive. And then after that, it's fucking Podium. After that, it's fucking Buttery Bros.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're 5 fucking tents in and you've spent $700 because it's a part of the experience, though.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's tier. Tier's coming up, popping up a lot.
Bro.
I don't know if you know tier. TYR. Tier.
Yeah.
I think that's how you say it.
They're making shoes now for the
I thought it was
CrossFit
tire.
space, and they're pretty good. I'll tell you that much. They are pretty good.
Really?
I've tested like a couple of pairs. It's pretty good.
What, the shoes?
Oh yeah.
Do they call those tire shoes as in like they're your tires on the road?
TYR. I'm gonna ask them to actually buy some ad space. They'll do it too. I know the dude is supposed to buy it all. But but yeah, like the only thing they're not good for is rope climbs, man. They slip on rope climbs. That's it.
So they're like cross training shoes or they're running shoes?
They're CrossFit shoes. They're about to get heavy in the CrossFit space. Like GoRuck makes a trainer. I'm about to test those out in a couple of days.
I heard that those were supposedly good. Dave Castro was wearing those for a while.
Yeah, the GoRuck ones are pretty good apparently.
Well,
speaking of testing out, did you ever test out that Endured? I think I saw you post.
Yeah, it's really good.
How'd you find out about that?
Oh, the dude. We know Burn from Invictus, and Burn got us in touch with him, and then he started sending out products, and I was like, yeah, I'll try it, and I'm like, god damn, this is really good. Like like during a Metcon, you're like in the middle of it, and you like take a sip or whatever, and you're like, oh man, it's like a sugar rush, and you're like, all right, I'm good, and you keep going and going and going, and then it's like post as well. So I take it after my workouts, and dude, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a small world. Burn Prince, right? From Massachusetts.
Yeah.
I know him because one of my coaches up there knows him from the Invictus Invitational, I want to say. Yeah. And I got them in touch with my coach from Future Forum, and I guess he got in touch with Burn, and then you got in touch with him. So that's pretty cool. A small world.
Yeah.
Because I saw the post from Future Forum, and I was like, oh shit. That's awesome.
So let me ask you a question while we got you on here. As somebody who works in a gym as a coach and somebody who's drank the Kool-Aid CrossFit, one of the things that we've talked to a couple of guests about is what is the outreach, almost responsibility of gyms and like coaches. So like in your mind, what are some things you might think of as like somebody who is a coach that when it comes to community outreach, community involvement, like we've seen at our gym a huge influx of people from a couple of gyms that just so happen to like either close down or like some exodus from a couple of gyms. What's something that you think impacts the community at large the most out of a gym?
Honestly, you know what it is, and I think, and I've seen it at a lot of gyms, is like these cliques and these niches. What I love about BallisticBuilt is that everyone talks to everybody. It doesn't matter what level you are, and I've seen it everywhere. Coaching, not coaching, you'll have people who's like, all right, well, this is the competitive people. I only talk to you, right? And then you have these other people, and like it becomes these little groups, right? But what's cool about Ballistic, which is a good community, is like it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how good you are. You know, you could have like a high level athlete just come up and reach and talk to you, like as a normal person. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't matter what you are. So I think that's the biggest impact, because if you really want someone to stay in, you don't want them to be like shunned out because they can't do these high level stuff or these weightlifting stuff, which I think that's just what CrossFit gets a bad name, because when they see CrossFit, a lot of people see CrossFit as, damn, they're snatching 300 pounds, 200 pounds. I can't do that. Why should I go to the gym, and try that, So when it comes to community, it's cool to see, it doesn't matter if you're, beginner or high level, if they can actually, talk together, and not shut each other out. I've seen, and that's what I think is one of the biggest things. Because I've seen at other gyms, these big midgets, and like you try to talk to them, they look at you like,
I don't know you. That's my purse.
Yeah.
Like your Bobby.
Then you go to some gyms where they have like the team that's actually competitive. Like there's like Lone Star CrossFit in San Antonio that just sent the team to Granite Games. Should have been a Games worthy team. And I don't know those guys whatsoever, but like there's gyms that have teams like that where they're like, oh yeah, like we've won a bunch of competitions, we've been to Wadapalooza, we've done the things, we just haven't gone to the games, or we have gone to the games, and the next thing you know is it's kind of like, hey, I get it, like gym owners kind of at that point you kind of owe the team like, or even the individuals that qualify, you owe them like a little bit more either attention or like some whatchamacallit, like just a little bit more rope to the leash. But like you like walk in the gym and those guys will be like, hey, like we're training over here, we're using this equipment, so like you got to go over there. It's like that kind of quick stuff I think happens occasionally, but I think it's more determined. Like Pandora's Box kind of had it a little bit, Ken, back in the day.
Really?
I saw it a couple times when I would walk in and there'd be like Jared would be training and everyone knows like, hey, if Jared's like games training or like regionals prepping, don't fucking bother him. But then there's certain dudes that like feel like they know Jared well enough that like they can go jump in with the workout, or they'll just kind of like be doing a workout. And if you even hint it at the inclining of like, oh hey, I'm gonna go over there, and hey, like, do you guys mind if I join? And be like, that probably was not your first thought when you looked at that group.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking more of like the Murph dude.
It's about Murphy, Captain Murphy.
Yeah, some of those like Ranger dudes and those Carson guys that kind of thought that they were like, oh, like we're just like strong dudes. We can do all this stuff on our own. Like those were not dudes that they didn't really give off the vibe of, hey, come join us.
Yeah.
So
True.
As a coach, Joel, what would you say? I know you do functional fitness and it's not necessarily at a CrossFit gym, but like, what would you say is the number one thing as a coach that you look for towards community?
Well, I would say is the number one thing I look for is actually if we're in a workout, is the support of everybody. So for example, if you still have a couple athletes still working out, right? And this is how I grew up when I first started, not grow up, but this is how I thought when I first got into CrossFit, is you don't just take all your stuff and you take it away, right? And just walk away while everyone's still struggling out there, right? You stay there,
Yeah.
As
but that's like an armyism too. Like that's what you do in the army, because like
and I think that's what it comes from. I think that's where it comes from. You don't let that one person, just struggle as you wiping down your barbell, you putting it up, because they're looking at that, because everyone's like, fuck, I'm the last one, everyone's already cleaned up, so that kind of hinders that, and it makes you feel like you're alone, right? So if you're going to be in a group class, you should be in a group, like, so as soon as they finish, even if you finish, you should be there, motivating, even do extra reps with them. If you still got energy, fuck it,
Yeah.
That's what I look for. That's one of the things I do.
Do you think that like the gyms that do? Have you ever been to one of those gyms where they're like, hey, like if you're going to join our gym, you have to go through like the acclimation kind of courses, or like the periodic thing, like where they're like, hey, even though you may have already, like there's a gym, CrossFit, I think it's like 526 or some shit in San Antonio. I'd probably botching that, but when I contacted them when I first got there, they were like, hey, like, have you ever done CrossFit before? I was like, yeah, I've been doing it since 2016. It's a total of like 5-6 years now that I've been doing it. And they're like, oh, cool, man. Well, if you come in, we're going to put you through, like 1 to 2 weeks worth of classes where like we get to see how you work, and we're going to progress you through things to make sure that like nothing bad happens, you don't get hurt, X, Y, and Z. Like we're going to assess you as we go, and then you can join the classes that we essentially call like it's almost like A, B, and C group kind of deal, like RX scaled and then like intermediate or something.
Yeah.
As a coach, do you ever feel like that's like a necessity type deal, or do you even find that to be a good idea? But by the tone of my voice, you can see that I don't. But
that's a slippery slope. Only because that's a slippery slope. That's like a double-edged sword if you look at it. Because someone might be doing it in 2016, but you don't know if that person's like the ego lifter type of guy. You know, he's been hurt for a bunch of times. Like you don't know.
Yeah.
So until you see it, right? So there's other gym that I was coaching at where you could do like a baseline test. Mm-hmm. So like if you do a free trial class, instead of doing a class, you did a baseline test, and it had certain movements, and you had like rowing, you had barbell thrusters, and pull-ups, and squat. And the reason why we do that baseline, we only do it once. The reason why we do that baseline is just to see where your fitness level is at, one, and then two, to notice how is he squatting? Okay, how is his pull-ups? Okay, what is he the type of person that goes pretty hard? Because the road itself is 1,000 meters. So are you that type of person that goes really hard? Because that's the first thing you do. So are you the type of person that paces? So those moves are there for a reason, right? Not just for you to work out. I mean, the baseline is pretty hard, but you get to see their movement, right? From everything from squats, from rowing, from their aerobic capacity, thrusters. So you're seeing squats and overhead stuff at the same time. The pull-ups, are they doing kipping? Are they doing butterflies? Are they doing it ugly? Are they doing strict? So you get to see the levels.
I think it's sort of unnecessary to do an assessment period on somebody that's coming in for just open gym. Like, have them sign your waiver and move the fuck on. And even if like I knew there's a gym here that tried to do that for a while, and then like people started like leaving because they were like, I don't want to do this bullshit test, and they were like, they made it a mandatory thing, and then people were like, no, I'm not taking an ACFT, so like it's my
I'm not dumb.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not like taking a modified ACFT essentially just to like show you that I'm not gonna die when I work out. That's why I signed a waiver. Like that's why you sign a waiver, man. That's it.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. But yeah, if someone's doing open gym, that's the same thing. Yeah, there's no open gym. Okay, so you know what you should be doing, right?
Yeah,
you're not there for a group class.
It kind of makes people feel like I wouldn't say discriminated against, but it makes them feel othered if they don't get a good enough score, or they're in this C group.
But then again, like you probably have a gym like Mayhem in like CrossFit New England, who they may not do that. But like to become a member at a certain point, there's like a cutoff where they're like, hey, we're not accepting other members right now. Or like if you want to do Mayhem team, like yes, Rich probably has the most say in something like that. Like if they're going to create a team, there's likely an assessment of like your training time, your availability. Like we're probably going to have you sponsored some way, somehow. So they're going to probably put you through like a test. Now for like an everyday person coming into a gym, I do agree to a sense. Like BallisticBuilt is very good with this, and I believe that Sabrina and Dakota and all those guys that coach, they do a great job. There are, however, some people who, like even my wife, when she came into the gym, she knew CrossFit, she knew what a snatch was and the clean and jerk was, but she didn't know them by name and necessarily couldn't identify them on her own. There may be a benefit to like beginner's class, right? And be like, hey, for like a month, we would recommend you show up once a week to the beginner's class so that we can go through like legitimate movements that people don't like during a regular class. You don't have that much time to give one-on-one in-depth instruction because you just like, if you have a class of 15, good luck walking around giving everybody a cue and paying attention to the new people.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I believe in a sense, like there shouldn't be a test out of it, right? Other than just the coach's eye test. Hey, I now see that you know how to move the bar in close proximity, utilize hip contact properly, utilize fucking like proper grip. Like that's something that most people don't know about.
Hook gripping.
Hook gripping, yes. Whether you're using, like, you don't have to be somebody who goes out and buys a roll of tape for fucking thumb tape to know that person knows how to snatch or some shit, right? But when you can start to see them do the movements, I think that's just the coach's eye test. And I would probably leave it to the head coaches or somebody who's like a level 2 coach, maybe not just a level 1, because I think that's level 1 doesn't teach you that much stuff other than just like, hey, are they squatting through their heels and using like hip mobility? But like we have a couple of people at our gym that, God, I don't want to say it in a mean way because I don't mean it this way.
Know your own limits.
They need more work at a lighter weight, or even Matt Fraser says it best. If he's going to teach somebody how to do Olympic lifts or lifts overhead, you're PVC doing it with a PVC pipe until I feel that you know the movement completely, bar none. You're not going to pick up a barbell and all of a sudden strain your back.
Yeah.
Where some people, like, I get it, like, it's not necessarily ego in most of these people. It is just like, hey, I want to be a part of the group. I don't want to feel like I'm outside the group, which is a huge reason. As soon as you come in, if they're like, hey, take this broomstick and drill this movement consistently, like Jess did at the gym yesterday.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm paying you $140 per month at some gyms for you to hand me a fucking broomstick? Like, cool, buddy, I'm gone. YouTube this shit later.
It's funny because I've seen a guy. There was a guy at a gym that I dropped into here in Colorado Springs when I was like between gyms. I call it between gyms. That's a funny CrossFit way of saying I ain't got no gym home. But we were doing. I had dropped in and like they were doing Diane just deadlift handstand push-ups, 21, 15, 9, 225. Ooh, I mean that right there. I know, right? Like that workout should take you like maybe 3 minutes.
Yeah, hang on, because I did that like a month and a half ago, and it took me way longer than 3 minutes.
I mean, damn, Steve.
I honestly, if somebody told me there was a deadlift workout right now and it was 225 or above,
no. Like the point of it is that this guy was there, and we had did deadlifts before because you kind of do the same Olympic movement or lifting movement before that's going to be in the Metcon to kind of reinforce it. He had trouble doing like 205, and we were all like, hey, probably should scale down. And he's like, no, I'm fine. I'll get it. I'm like, oh, okay. All righty then. So I do it, and I'm done in like, I think 3 minutes and change. And I was like, okay, that was great. I'm going to go do something else now. I went to go do echo bike calories. 20 minutes later, he was still going. He would not scale down. We were all like, even the coach was like, hey, you probably should scale. He got mad and yelled at the coach. And I'm like, Jesus Christ,
that's where, as a coach, you need to have like that.
Like, you gotta get out.
Like, that set of balls and be like, "Hey, look,
get the fuck out.
You don't do that here."
Yeah, like that was the ego lifting. This is his back.
Comparison, Ken is like 6'1" and like 240. So there's a reason why you're able to do that workout in under 3 minutes.
Deadlifts aren't hard, but damn, Diane.
No, all you have to do is fucking lean back.
Yeah, just gotta.
No fucking bar comes off the ground, goddammit.
Just stand up a little bit. But yeah, man, like I appreciate people doing things for the sake of doing things, because like if you do something, that's better than doing nothing. Like I'm all about this, the 60-year-old guy walking down the road with his wife every evening, or the mom that jogs with a stroller down the street every morning, or I go to the gym and I see Kathy doing the Metcon. She's scaling the shit out of it, but she's doing something. Like it's all great. Like I am so happy those people are doing something. But if you're doing something for the sake of just doing it and you got an ego attached to it, maybe you should stop and figure out why you're actually doing this thing and do it appropriately. Like any effort's good effort. Like I'll give it to you if you put in effort, but effort for the, with these fucked up notions in your head that you are just as good as somebody that's been doing it for a few years. Nah, man.
So now the good thing about go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, it just reminded me of like just today, like we had one of the Metcons that we had today. It was like five sets, and it had like 25 bike erg, then a 20 wall balls at 30 pounds, and then overhead lunges at 253 kettlebells, right, 50 feet, and then you had 20 heavy dugs. Yeah. Then you rest 3 minutes, right? You do that for 5 rounds. Yeah. And my buddy he knows what CrossFit is and everything, he's been doing it for me for maybe 2 months, Carlos. right? You know Carlos, right? So he doesn't like when I put out weights. He does not like the scale, right? Because it's in his head. It's more ego, right? But I told him, hey, 20-pound wall ball, get the 35 kettlebell, right?
Yep.
35, right? And then by set 3, I'm on the ground, fucking dying, sweating. And he's come up to me, he goes, man, I feel great. And I was like, oh, I bet you fucking do, right?
Scale bastard, fuck you.
But I'm like, at the end, when we finished the 5 sets, I was like, see how you maintain that same pace the whole time? Like that's why you scale. You're gonna get better that way. You're not staring at the wall ball for 5 minutes. You're looking at it. So.
Well, that's because you have to just put crayons in front of him, and he will work harder. He was.
Yeah, those damn Marines. You just gave him the.
I'm assuming he likes to use the colored barbell because then it looks like a blue crayon.
Yeah, he had the blue barbell today. Tell you the truth. So yep.
So HeroBarbell, if you didn't know that, was a group or a company that we worked for, and that's that blue barbell in our gym. They're also owned by, I believe, a Marine.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
And so it makes sense that he made all of his company's barbells certain colors that match crayons. I mean, it's not rocket science. It's just Marine science.
It's so funny because you can travel to that barbell every time we come in. That's the barbell he looks for.
I fight for that barbell. I'm kind of PO'd that somebody took that red one. And that by somebody, I mean the other former owner that I guess has it at the other gym. So.
Oh, damn.
Oh, well, but I guess I now need to at some point purchase a barbell.
Yeah, you should.
I'll probably wait till next. Probably wait till Christmas. But by the way, go over to HeroBarbell.com. Use promo code. What is it? BAW10.
No, that's for BlitzBelts. I think the one is black ampersand sign and white 10. There we go. I can actually pull it up.
Yeah, go ahead, pull that up real quick. But while we're at this, I know that this is something that a lot of people don't know about, but we are currently live on YouTube. So I'm going to take a quick break, give us a little ad read. But if you're not watching, which, yes, again, we have 0 fucking viewers. God damn it. If you are somebody that is a subscriber, I believe we have a couple of those. If you want to get the notifications that we are going live on YouTube whenever we do these episodes, you do have to go into the YouTube app. You have to hit that notification button in the top corner, and then you have to add us as a notification that you would like to follow. That way, whenever we do go live, your phone gets an instant notification letting you know that in the next however many minutes that a live show will be commencing and or that one has already started. If you don't do that, we don't get viewers unless you happen to be floating through the YouTubes at some point. So go out, help us out a little bit, right? It's going to get the viewership up. Then we can start monetizing this thing a little bit more, right? And once the boys start getting paid a little bit more, then the episodes start flowing. But Joe Rogan didn't get paid early on in his podcast either. Okay.
Joe Rogan's our foothold of excellence. We got to make the Joe Rogan status. That's our victory right there.
That is every podcast foothold of excellence. Okay. Because I saw the other day there was a map of the most popular podcast by state, right? But in the bottom corner, it said except, or this study exempts the Joe Rogan Experience. There was a crime story podcast. I forget what it's like, a murder mystery type deal. And then there was one other one. I forget whose it was. But there was only 3 podcasts that are completely exempt. They are above the status because literally everyone's like, well, they would take home the entire gold, bronze, and silver across the entire United States. So we're not on that list yet, Ken.
No, not even close.
Being a small podcast, I mean, you have some pretty big people on your podcast.
Small flex.
Small, yes.
Round of applause for the little golf clap, that stupid snap that teenage white girls do at poem readings. Okay? If you guys are at home listening to the audio, just go ahead while you're sitting in your car, on your way to work or wherever the fuck you're going, okay, maybe it's a strip club, just go ahead and give us a little, little
They
snap
go to the
clap.
titty bar.
Give that little snap clap that's like, yes, bitch. Give me that shit, all right? I deserve it. I'm working hard. My dog is over here chewing a toy and annoying the other dog, okay? I'm hard at work, but I'm also a family man, okay? Second of all, Joel, I don't know if you know this. I keep calling you Joel. It's Joel. Fucking A.
Yeah, it's all right.
Am I
Joel
racist for
indeed.
saying it like that?
Yeah, you are.
What's that?
I said, am I racist for saying it like that?
Yes.
A
Just say
little
yes.
bit.
I'm probably gonna have to go beat myself up in the bathroom after this. I'll have to smack my face on the toilet a couple times.
You got a touch of the plantation owner in your.
I do have I do. You know what? If I have a house, it's going to be a master suite. Okay.
Oh, you son of a bitch! Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
my lovely wife just walked in.
Oh,
Dude.
God.
Ooh,
Well-
I'm a lucky man right
Can
now.
they hear all this? Can they hear all this?
Jess?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's right here.
Oh, so you don't have headphones? I just realized that.
No, I don't have headphones
Your
on.
husbands are racist, apparently.
Oh
So
my god.
yeah.
I called Joel again, and I was like, "Am I racist for saying it like that?"
There you go.
So, also, Joel, we're gonna have to. They're sending us good sunglasses, right?
Oh
Like a
yeah,
new
yeah.
batch
You're
of
getting a Carl, so you're getting a little flamingo. We're gonna put them up. I'm gonna pin them to the
Oh.
wall.
Oh, I'm gonna start putting that flamingo around our gym, Joel.
You know, you know the story about flamingos, though, right? You know what that is, right?
No, what is it?
Flamingos a pineapple. It's obviously upside down pineapple.
Oh, I know the upside down pineapples.
Okay.
I didn't know
Okay.
flamingos were a part of this.
Yeah. I think it has to do with like a flamingo in your front yard. Has to do with yeah.
Wait, I'm lost. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's
Explain.
swingers, motherfucker.
Explain like I'm 5. Wait, what?
Swingers.
Swingers.
Oh, you have a flamingo in your front yard?
If you have a flamingo posted in your front yard like a garden gnome, right? Or if you wear or display upside down pineapples, either on your clothing, in your yard, in your house, in pictures, decorations, whatever, then you're signaling that you're a swinger.
Yeah.
That shit makes a lot of sense. Now. Holy fuck. Okay, so funny story.
How many
here.
swingers households have you fucking been to?
No, wait. You gotta hear this story. You gotta hear this fucking story. So when I was in the army, right?
Yeah.
You know how you get it. You know how you like sit in there and you're like all on your phones and you're fucking around like, hey, look at this funny thing. There's apparently a subreddit that one of my so as a fire support NCO, he was like, yeah, I'm a part of this subreddit called Colorado Swingers. I'm like, Jesus Christ, what do you mean? Like, why are you doing that? He's like, well, it's the best place to get strange. And I'm like, damn. It's like, so you're a cucker, aren't you? He's like, yeah, kind of. And I was like, no fucking way.
You can't fucking.
Now that I think about it, in his front yard was a fucking flamingo. And also, this motherfucker, every time he came to like a social event for the army, he had a pink shirt on. And he always brought pineapple. I'm like,
That's not a fucking real thing. No way.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I can't say his name. I'll type it in the private chat. Here we go. This is his name.
We have a soldier at Fort Sam that he recently had another soldier wherever he was before that. But he was like, I had to prepare a field grade Article 15 for my soldier for cheating on his wife because she got mad that he was seeing one of the other swingers, like wives or some shit. But the Army, I guess, has adopted a policy where if you and your wife like have consensual sex with other like partners that are like a couple, then it's
good.
So wow. So if it's consensual with the other partners.
now it's got to be really hard if I'm a soldier and I have a wife and I'm like, oh, like we're both consenting to this, and she says yes, and then like a month and a half later she's like, nah, fuck that, I never consented. Like, all right, good luck proving all of this shit.
Yeah, like he said, she said situation.
And that's really fucking hard to prove. But granted, it's in the soldier's favor because then the Army has to prove it.
That's why you just get it. That's why you just text, be like, "Hey, babe, can I do this with this person?"
With you and that person, and it's like, okay.
Exactly. So if you get that text, yes, then I guess that's hard evidence right there.
Okay, so back to real quick the little gooder read I was gonna give us. So if you Joel need a pair of sunglasses, I'm going to try to put together a little goodie bag based on whatever glasses they send me for the guys that are going to BCS. So we'll be decked out this summer. We're going to be wearing some Modball stuff. Then we have Modballs actually giving us product. Shout out to Modballs. They are the best company that we have really worked with.
Delicious.
No offense to Gooder. Gooder's paying us, but hey, relations. We got to build them. Okay. Once we build those relations, we'll be good. Okay.
Oh fuck.
But in the meantime, Joel, if you need a good pair of reliable sunglasses, head over to gooder.com. They're only, I believe, $25 for a pair.
I'll do this whole ad read for you real quick. Here's a lowdown for it. Like, if you want free shipping, put $50 worth of shit in your cart, and it's free shipping. You get 30 days of free returns. You get a 1-year warranty, and guess what? I work renewable energy, and this shit's carbon neutral. So, bam, you're doing something for the fucking environment. You're basically saving the fucking flamingos. Yeah. So, like, also
saving the swingers.
Yeah, you're saving the swingers, man. And also
hashtag save the swing.
Hashtag save the swingers, man.
Our first post is going to have that on there, Ken.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
Our first story, I want them to call us.
Hashtag save the flamingo people. That's what we're going to say.
No, I think we can put a picture up of Carl, and it'd be like, where can Carl save swingers around America?
Oh God, yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. I have.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm not too positive, but I'm pretty sure on the state side, I think Florida is the biggest state for it.
Oh, watch this! I'm about to make a thing.
I would also say probably California.
I was watching what's it called, a documentary on Vice, because I had nothing to do one day, and so I watched it, and it was like, there's a facility for swingers, like it's legit, like you go there, it's like a resort for swingers, and it's like in Florida.
There's one here in Colorado, in Denver.
Oh yeah, I've heard about this one too.
It's called the Scarlet Rose.
Yes.
You been there?
No.
I'm just saying.
No, dog. Fuck that. That's how you get gonorrhea that don't go away.
Yeah, I have not had the distinguished displeasure of going there. But I would say, did you guys ever hear about the story of the what was it? It was like a robot toy or something that people tried to get from one side of the country to the other.
Oh God, they keysted it, didn't they?
Oh yeah, so there was like this toy robot that people were like, through the goodwill of others, we will get this toy from one side of the country to the other.
Through the goodwill of others.
And it was like people would be like, "Hey, I found the toy. I'm driving from like Cincinnati to Pennsylvania." And they would drive it to Pennsylvania, wherever their stop was, and then they would drop it somewhere, and they would tweet again that like, "Hey, I dropped this off." And I guess it got to, I think, Philadelphia, and somebody like ran it over with a car, like completely stomped it out and just like destroyed this thing. Ken, you should look it up.
Oh, I am. Wait a minute. Before I look it up, I'm going to show you guys what I just made.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to show you what I just fucking made.
It's like a fourth grader going through fucking show and tell.
Oh, fuck you. Wait a minute. Let me make sure I get the right tab. Let me get the right tab. Oh, here we go. Yep. There we go. Bam. Look at that shit right there. Look at that.
There you go.
Have save swingers.
Yeah.
I think I'm terrible.
Why do you think you're terrible? This is hilarious. I learned something today. You learned
I think
something.
it's going to be funny because somebody's probably going to be like, who said the swingers need to be saved?
This episode did, apparently. I mean, I'm going to make it a story. It's going to be fucking hilarious.
I bet you Amy Thor's daughter's a swinger.
God damn it. You know this is going out for God, she's a mother, man. She's CrossFit sweetheart. You can't say that. You can say what the fuck you want.
Hey, a sweetheart can still have sex with multiple people.
That is fair.
Is Amy Thor's daughter a swinger? I just want to know.
Oh God. I don't know. What do you think? How many people in CrossFit do you think are swinging?
Oh.
Go ahead, Joel. Go ahead.
I feel like honestly,
there might be a high number on this.
Yeah, especially if you're teams, because you bring each other, like you become a bigger, like the Spartans. You think about the Spartans.
Fuck.
Pretty much. If everyone knows the history about the Spartans, I'm not gonna go into it. But I feel like
each other in the butthole.
They're just beating up each other's guts.
Probably.
They were pounding that stuffing back there.
Pound just fudge packing, just like the UPS man. What can Brown do for you?
Yeah,
Jesus
absolutely.
Christ,
Doing all the docking and everything.
Fudge packing 101. Anyways.
Hey, so going for a circle and speaking about teams,
Yeah.
y'all had some people on the podcast, especially like teams and stuff like that.
No, he's gonna ask. Do it.
No, I'm not gonna ask about him, but I'm just gonna ask in general because you asked me about the steroids and stuff like that because of those teams.
Well, you can ask about him too.
You can ask. You can ask whatever you want.
I mean, I'll ask
his
about
Insta handle too.
So I've seen a lot of people getting popped for the same stuff, right? Which is what cartering with GW0.
It's Flintstone vitamins.
GW50. Oh, sorry. GW
1516.
Yeah, 15.
Whatever that compound is, right? So I've been seeing a lot of people getting popped top for that. I mean, Ricky Gerard got popped top for that back in what?
He got popped top for Enduraball.
Yeah, which is the same stuff. It's just the name, right? Isn't that the same name?
No, it's not the same thing. They're a little different.
Wasn't it kind of the same process though?
You know what? Let's Google it. Let's Google it and find out.
I thought Enduraball was cartering.
Let's find out. Enduraball versus Carter. It's funny. It's the first thing that popped up. Okay, cool. Oh yeah, it is Enduraball. My bad. You were right. Let me show this to everybody that's viewing. This is gonna be great. Just terrific.
My wife just scarfed down an entire Philly cheese steak sandwich along with a secondary sandwich.
I'm fucking proud of her.
I can tell that this son of mine is gonna come out big.
Yeah. You have a big old
My
head.
son's gonna be as big as Joel when he comes out.
Fuck it, that's a big
I'm not that big though. I wish.
It burns fat instead of proteins and carbohydrates.
When we went for one of the ultrasounds, Jess had asked, like, hey, are we sure that it's a baby or it's a boy? And the lady was like, oh, it's a boy. I can tell from his parts.
Ooh, congratulations.
He hung like a horse. Hell yeah.
Congratulations.
That makes
I keep telling Jeff all the
time. Too.
I keep telling her, like, I hope this kid comes out just slanging. She gets grossed out by it because she's like, yeah, well, that's just, I don't need to hear that. But my son comes out looking hung like a horse. We're gonna be in good shape.
Yeah, great shape. That's a good boy.
You can be in better shape than Ken. That's saying something.
Wow. I have a decent penis. It's pretty good. It's hefty. It can hold down a stack of papers in a windstorm. That's what I got for you. I'm not even high, Steve. This is great. You know.
So what was your question, Joel? What was like the final question?
All right. So I've been seeing like a lot of teams getting popped up for this one, right? So this one exactly, right? So I'm pretty what I've known about is what it gives you a third lung.
Pretty much.
That's pretty much what it does.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think that people are getting popped up for this, right? So have you ever seen read what it does and stuff like that, and what the half-lives?
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it, we're here. Let's go into it.
So the half-life of it. Why do you think that these people who are taking it are still getting popped up for? If the half-lives are not that long.
So what I do know is that if the half-life depends, so like right here, so the half-life depends on your weight and your metabolic cycle. So essentially, you take it in combination. Cardarine and testosterone are taken together. And when you take them together, essentially the cardarine acts as an inhibitor for the testosterone because the cardarine does not allow you to burn protein and carbs as a fuel source. It allows you to burn fat stores as a fuel source, which is super rich in energy. It's like taking sugar, comparing sugar to orange juice that hasn't been processed through a factory. It's vastly different. Pure sugar, it has way more potential energy in it than that orange does. So that's the first part of what happens. So it binds to your muscle tissue and essentially allows the uptake of oxygen to be faster. So that increased uptake of oxygen, you feel like you have a third lung, your muscles recover quicker, they can stay powered for longer, and you're not even using the carbs and protein you've eaten the day before or 2 days before to even fuel you. So that's another pathway of potential energy you can have.
All right, so speaking of, now I'm going to drop his name, right? His last name's Franklin, right?
Yep.
So him being a bigger dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
They found his amounts. Now he's in the military, no?
Yep.
So that being said, he said someone else gave it to him because it helps him, blah blah. Like he didn't know what it was. Now, so since it was in his system, and he's in the military, do you think will he or will the military just look the other way because they didn't test them?
So funny story there. You can't, in the military, there's no ban against like steroids. Your commander can choose to like test you for them or not, but usually they don't care because your performance is going to be high. That means a good OER for them. So unless someone's dying, there's no reason to really test for that thing. But what could happen is because he lied, that's a breach, that's an integrity violation, like we all know, and that can lead to other UCMJ shit.
But again, lying to whom is in the Army? If somebody from a specific unit that you would be going to,
but you remember.
If they had not expressly asked him, hey, are you taking anything?
I'm pretty sure on that application that we all had to do when we did that qualifier, it said you could not take PEDs. I'm pretty sure.
Well, now if they could trace it to where they know that he was taking PEDs during that competition, which likelihood was, then it falls under that. Like, yes, you signed that waiver and you lied. But again, I don't think that the Army will take any action in a situation like that because for them it looks worse than for them to just be like, hey, you know what, man, like you just pissed your chances away. Like you're never getting on this team. We're not going to welcome you back. We can't trust you. X, Y, and Z. Like at that point, he has to serve his 4-year ban, make it to the games on his own, still somehow be in the Army, and still be willing to go to that team for them to even consider taking him 5 years from now.
Yeah. So, let's see how all this stuff works. Keep going.
So, I mean, I guess I was just going to say, team-wise, is it weird that we're not seeing women pop hot for this?
That's a great segue into it because that was going to be my next question. All right, I understand. There's a 1% of genetics out there. Understand that 100% genetic.
Yep.
But you're seeing if you look at the games, you look at the semis, you look at the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
That's more than 1% of those people looking freakishly strong or doing it right. And I get some of them that started when they were younger and they built to that. But
also, here's the thing. Cardarine is a fairly new drug, like a fairly new performance enhancing drug, right? CrossFit's been pretty much competitive since like 2009, and they were in drug testing back then. Now think about all the people that are still in the sport today and are doing well today. If they were on something then, they've already gotten all the benefits, just like a preteen, a teenager hitting puberty and then saying, oh, I'm identified as a female. Now, you've already got the benefits of having the testosterone in your body or whatever substance in your body. And what it does is it remaps your genetic code. So funny enough, here it is right here. So that part I highlighted, look above it. It triggers a biological response. And by biological response, it means it changes the way that your body essentially reacts to stress. And you know that if we change how someone reacts to stress, it can change your genetic code as well. So you have a predisposition to have higher oxygen uptake levels, or you have a higher propensity to use fat as a fuel source first, other than glucose and carbohydrates. So if you were doing it a long time ago and it wasn't tested for, and you're still in the space now, you got away with it effectively because it wasn't being tested for. So I mean, it could be.
I don't think so much that people are cycling off of it in time. Like I don't think that's necessarily the problem. I think that either they're just not paying attention, or they just don't care, or there's a possibility that maybe we're just not running the tests on all the people that we should be.
Well, I mean, don't they do for teams? Don't they only do like 50%?
Yeah,
right.
Everybody pees, but then only they test 2.
No. Only 2 people pee.
Oh, I thought
Right,
it was
it's like one male, one female.
one female, randomly. Yep.
oh well.
Yeah. But like the point I was trying to make is that you can take testosterone and durable arms, steroids, without being tested for them, and then you get off and it's no longer in your system, but you've already reaped the benefits of having those things in your system. Your body has changed. So I'm saying that those people in the past that are still in the space now, like, I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but like Annie Thor's daughter, Sarah Sigma's daughter, like all those people, especially women, because their estrogen levels are so high, it can mask those testosterone effects when they pee in the cup. It's possible. So like, I don't know, maybe.
So have we put together that Annie Thor's daughter could possibly be on steroids and a swinger?
I'm not. Everybody out there, I said I am just hypothesizing. I'm taking a while. I'm shooting for the stars.
I'm not that big of a fan of her. I kind of feel like everybody that gets labeled like a sweetheart or something tends to be the person that you should probably pay the most attention to on being a dirtbag.
I wish they would stop doing those fucking TikTok videos. But Joel, what were you about to say?
Like speaking of females, right? So like, what I know, and I don't know if y'all ever watched like Derek from More Plates, More Dates.
Yep, I've watched him.
Okay, so he really breaks down everything about the pharmaceutical, everything, right? So when I was watching the semi, especially females, I saw a couple females, right, that had all this acne on them, all of it, like they're in their 30s, mind you, right?
Testosterone, dog.
Okay, so I'm looking at all that, right, and then I find her, then I go in stock mode and I go to their IGs and look at, okay, did they really have a problem back then, or why is it popping up now, right? So I'm looking at this, right? I was like, well, they're very clean here. Why do they look like, they have all this breakout now, right?
Yeah.
Man, stress levels, bro.
What's that?
Stress levels.
All right, so that's so funny you say that. So now going back to birth control, right? Birth control actually has some type of steroids in it. So it messes with your hormones. So if you get off birth control or switch to a different thing, you'll see females, just regular females, get more acne. It's a common thing. They'll get back on the face, shoulders. It's a thing when they switch out, just the hormones in it. So you see females, you can see these females, they stop taking stuff, they clear out their system. Now your body's going back into homeostasis mode and it's all whacked out. So what does it do? It drops, right? All your hormones are out of whack. So what happens is you're competing, right? You still have the benefits of what you just did, but you cleared enough time, but your body's still trying to go back to homeostasis. And now you see this acne on the face, the shoulders, the chest. And I'm like, bro, you can just wear a t-shirt. Don't wear a sports bra. Like you're literally telling them that you're doing stuff.
Yep.
And,
the judge as they're counting the reps is like half a rep. You're a cheater.
Watching people try to hit like below parallel and they're like jacked. Like I don't know. I don't want to accuse anybody, but they're like telltale signs. Like especially women with like cystic acne, like that is a big telltale sign that either you had a lot of testosterone growing up and it still coursing through your body, or you're taking some type of androgynous, testosterone.
Exactly, and that's why you look at their IG. You look at back years. You just scroll down and be like, hey, they look like that before. Oh, why only in competition level that on competition days? That's why you look like that.
Exactly.
Well, it's interesting with me, like with the dudes who are doing it, you tend to see like their scores, like times drop dramatically. You tend to see their weights. Well, their weights just in regular like prep workouts, their weights go through the fucking roof. They're snatching 275 one year and 315 the next. That's a very telltale sign, right? Especially like 9-month period or whatever. But women, there aren't very many of them, if any, in the sport that do that or that have that sign. There's no woman who's snatching 225.
So, pause real quick where you at. Ricky Garrard was from Australia, right?
Yes.
Right.
Shit's banned in Australia.
What
fucking
shit?
banned. Like it hasn't been verified by the FDA. And like to what Steve was saying about like a woman snatching 225 pounds, is it possible? Yes, they're Olympians who only weightlift. Their only job is to bulk up, get to 102 kilos, and snatch 225 pounds. Like that's their only job. Like you have to think that at some point. Okay, here we go. I'll give you a little background, a little information that I found out. CrossFit is changing who does their drug testing because of all this crap that's happened.
They shouldn't do private testing anymore.
Yeah, they're not.
Or someone, you know.
They're about to switch it. I don't know who they're switching to, but it's going to be more public, so they say. It's
the U.S. Army.
But they have to pay for each one of those drug tests, so man, it's just not cheap. It's like $1,500 a drug test. It's expensive.
Yeah.
All those panels.
Yeah, just let the Army throw some money at it. We throw shit tons of money at the CrossFit Games.
Jesus Christ.
Absolutely.
Let our fucking UA people be the ones sitting there watch you piss.
You don't want that. You don't want any of
I
that.
definitely don't want that because I'd probably be one of those NTOs that would get asked like, "Hey man, you want to go watch these guys pee?"
But there's not going to ever be someone in any sport that's 100% clean. But don't do it in CrossFit because it's not worth it. It's really not. You get
especially what's his name? Phil Toon? Is that his name?
Dude, yeah, that's crazy.
So the guy they found DECA.
Yeah, decadurabolin.
Yeah, it's in your system for almost a year and a half. Like you can't hide that. Like,
but he tried to mask it with finasteride. Like that's a topical hair growth cream. And I'm not stupid or anything. Like I'm not dumb. I'm not very smart either. But I can read and I can Google. Now, my lady is a pharmacist, and when I said finasteride, she was like, "No, it's finasteride." And I was like, "Oh, finasteride? That's how you say it?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, we prescribe that a lot to men that are balding, but people use it to mask steroids." And I hadn't even told her anything, and I was like, "Well, goddamn." She was like, "Yeah, it happens all the time."
He didn't even try to cover it up.
But finasteride just acts as like a mask for decadurabolin and endurable and fucking testosterone. I think that's what it's called. And it masks it pretty well.
Testosterone?
No, testosterone. It's a substrate of testosterone that binds quicker to your whatever.
There's a whole bunch of testosterone in this podcast.
A whole lot. Just like.
What time do you have to go to work, Joel? Or Joel?
4:30.
Oh, he's got to go then.
Yeah, you got to get going here in a couple of minutes. Let me just ask you right quick one last question. All right. Do you think me and Liz have a chance of keeping up with you and Shelly?
No.
Absolutely. I think you have a chance. What do you mean?
I was really hoping he was going to go like some scorched earth. Like, no, sit the fuck back down.
No. Motivate him better than Joel. Tell him to go fuck himself. Tell him to figure out his life and do better.
What are you saying, by the way, for BCS?
Honestly, during the qualifiers, Shelly and I were like, fucking like, what the fuck? Did we really place that? There's no way, right?
What did y'all place?
They first.
We took first in BCS in the qualifier.
So Shelly was a regional athlete a couple of years ago. I believe she's been to the games once. I know some stuff of like what her future plans are. I obviously can't say because it's not for me to say. But I perceive her to be back at that level very soon. So Shelly, in her own right, phenomenal athlete.
She's a monster.
Absolutely stunning. It blows my mind. She doesn't make hip contact with the bar for her cleans or snatches, and they are monstrous numbers.
You're fucking shitting me.
Dude,
yeah,
it's like my arrows.
We did a workout. We did a workout the other day as teams, and like my clean and jerks were at 245, right, and hers was at 165. It was 1 for 1. Had some bike and some synchro total bars because we were getting ready for the BCS, and like I would hit it. I would hit the power clean, power jerk. She would hit one. We go back and forth, right, and I'm like, man, she's still moving the barbell like
it's rep 1.
Let me take a second to breathe.
Don't be surprised if you ever see her like look at your weight and be like, "I'll match you."
No fuck.
She's fucking like that. I'm surprised that if the weight was 165, she's the kind of girl that easy is like, well, like, if the reps are low enough, be like, all right, I'll do it at 185, and you're like,
she sounds like Gabby in my gym.
You don't
that girl is an animal. Yeah, you don't have to. Like Gabby will be like, "Oh, it's 165," and she's like, "It's easy just to put 185 on here, just a dude."
The math is a lot easier. I don't like to add up plates.
Yeah, I actually texted her. I was like, "When's your rest day?" and all she did was laugh. I didn't get yes, I didn't know, I didn't get nothing. I just got LML.
I've seen her active recovery days. The last time Liz and I went in on a Sunday, I believe it might have been last Sunday, and Liz and I did just power clean, power jerk work, like just straight sets under like an EMOM style, and then we did the same thing with snatching to work on like a pause at the bottom, and we finished up with a snatch in wall walk. And I look over at Chelly, and she did like an interval with the Echo bike, right? And then she moves over the bike erg as we're finishing our workout, and she's doing a bike erg with a sandbag clean, or sandbag clean, and then like a sandbag like carry.
Yeah.
She is just like, it's demonizing how much better she looked working out in her workout. Like, she was putting me to shame, and I was like, I'm doing hard work over here. Chelly looks like she's fucking doing way harder work and making it look easy.
Jesus Christ.
And I kind of looked at Liz and I was like, we're 19th out of 19 teams.
What the
She looks back at me, she goes, all we have is to go up. That's it.
Hey, that's a good way. That's a good way to look at it. And so, anyways, to answer your question about having a chance, that qualifier, it kind of lined up to us. It just the way those workouts were lined.
Yeah.
I guess those were all in our powerhouse.
And by the way, Chloe works out in Vans. So that lets everybody know the kind of like person and like athlete she is she's good enough that she can wear whatever pair of shoes. Like, she's not, oh, I need the better like flat-footed shoe. I need the better like cushion or the lifter.
Oh, I need lifters.
I'm gonna wear Vans while I do rope climbs, and no socks, no nothing on my shins. I'm just.
By the way, she doesn't even wear grips, bro. She doesn't wear grips. We did that. We did 54 pull-ups, 30 chest to bars, 18 bar muscle-ups, and she never wore grips, and she didn't tear. Don't know how.
Literally everybody in that qualifier fucking teared.
How do my hands would just rip apart? I can't. No, I wear grips. I'm a pussy.
Yeah, that's why our team name was Raw Grip for the qualifier.
The most painful muscle-ups I've ever done in my life. Jesus. And it sucked because the entire time I was flooding the bar with blood, like we've all done at some point. But the problem was I was like, it's only 18. That's it. And then I looked down at the clock and I was like, I'm already past Joel and Chelly's time, and I'm crouching in on Liz's, and I still have 10 to go with what was it? It was like a 120 count row.
You still had 120 count row.
Jesus Christ.
And then I got on the rower, and I started pulling like a 700.
Oh,
and I was like, I'm perfectly fine with this. I'm totally good with that. I'm fine.
Jesus.
We're just here.
We're just doing
Liz
this.
Showed up and she's like, "How are you doing?" And she looked at the rower and was like,
You were fucked.
I finished the row in like 7 minutes, and then when I was done, I looked back at who had done the row prior to me, and it was like a 6:41.
Yeah.
Was that you, Joel?
No, I was pulling 1100 on the row.
That's fair. That's about me.
How long did it take you? Like 5 something?
Like 6 minutes. I want to say 6. Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude.
So I think right now BallisticBuilt is to give them a little shout out. We're sending, I believe, 7 teams to this. 3 of which I would believe are going to be very competitive. Honestly, I also said to Liz, the chances that we do like top 10 is probably our goal. But also,
you can do that.
But also, they didn't have judges in this qualifier. There's no video submission. So, dude, anybody could have just threw a fucking score up and been like, hey, I'm going to add 10 pounds or I'm going to add an extra round in that weightlifting event. I'm going to say I walked the extra 10 feet on that handstand walk to get the next round. Nobody's going to check me. And I did that row pull-up and muscle-up workout after I did the toes to bar clean workout, squat clean workout, an hour afterwards.
Jesus, why?
And I was talking to Liz and I was like, you know what? We could just be dirtbags and just like write down a 5-minute faster score. And she just looked at me and she was like, it's incredible that some people have definitely done that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, 100%.
Somebody lied.
The only thing I did like was the blind things. Like you couldn't see anyone's scores, but
That was nice.
if you have a team at the gym that does something, they did it whatever time, you could be like, oh, they did it in that time. That's a good. I'll just go 5 seconds below that. You know, I'll call it good.
The cutoff numbers were a little bit odd to me, like 1 through 19 for male, female. Didn't make sense. But I guess if you do look down the list, maybe the guys in 20th just had a score that was 1 or 2 that were like, I just don't think you'll hold up in what Rich is about to program. So we're not going to take 20.
Right? Oh, you'll find out real quick. You'll find out real quick once you get there who lied and who didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, based on your score, they may have taken 25 teams or wanted to, but then they look at 20 through 25 and be like, these 2 scores are not gonna. You're not gonna do well. So there's no point in us just having another 5 teams supplying time and space for you guys just to fuck around. So
yeah,
because I mean, Rich is putting his name all over this thing. So I doubt that he wants to come there and fucking waste time or waste money and effort. But
I'm surprised you guys didn't do a video submission.
Yeah, I heard it's gonna be rough this year. I heard that his programming this year is one of the best / worst programming for this competition.
Well, Rich himself is programming it, so
dude, that's fucked. I remember doing Mayhem by myself in Pandora's every day for like a year. Oh my god, I got really fit, but I was in pain every day, like every day.
Absolutely, those Metcons were awful.
Hey, did you do this run GHD squat snatch workout recently? Liz sent it to me the other day. It was like 800-meter run, 40, 16 something.
I don't think I did that one. Maybe I don't think so. Man.
I'll send it to you over a DM. Ken and I did it yesterday, and being at altitude, I got very, very close to blacking out.
He died.
You know,
it was so funny.
From 135. There's like 16 at 135.
So this is how it went.
165. 9 at 195, and then it was supposed to be 6 at 225.
Yeah.
I only got 4 of the 225.
Yeah. That's rough.
A lot.
It was originally 800, 600, 400, 300, 200 run, but we did 4, 3, 2, 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
We cut everything in half, and it still took to like
that 100-meter run was like a fucking walk.
Yeah. It took me like 23 minutes and change, and I was like, yeah, if it was 800, no. I'm not finishing.
And it had a pretty aggressive cap. I think it said
25
minutes.
Are you sure that was supposed to be like individual, or is it supposed to be between 2 people?
I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be individual, but
because that's fucked.
Well, I can always let me check real quick.
Ken,
you want to do one more gooder read before we get out of here?
Yeah, we'll do one more before we leave. So let me go ahead and grab this.
Well, if you didn't know, we're sponsored now and we're official paid podcast. So
yeah, is it by Gooder? Is it by Gooder?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
This ad reading for them for nothing?
Yeah, we're not ad reading for anybody. So you can see up here in the top right hand corner is Beast Gooder sunglasses, basically. $25 for a pair of sunglasses. You can't beat that. 30-day free return, 1-year warranty. Anything that happens to them. Anything. You could sit on them, shit on them. A lion could eat them and shit them out. You could put them back in your face. You could not like them, and you could send them back, and they would still give you another pair.
Hey, if you're going to be a swinger, these might be the best sunglasses for you to do.
100%.
Yeah, especially if you're sweating a lot.
Yeah.
We found a real-life application for Gooder sunglasses. Be a swinger. Wear a pair of sunglasses. That way nobody will recognize you when you're done.
You're like Batman. No, you're like Superman.
Clark Kent style.
Yeah, see? That's fucked up because that's
Hey, Ken, go ahead and click for me real quick the bestsellers tab.
Bestsellers?
I want to see what they got here. Because the other thing, we're going to have to familiarize ourselves with this.
The Ginger Soul was nice.
Okay, so not only do they have some kick-ass sunglasses, Joel. God damn it, I'm so bad at this.
You're such a racist.
I'm fucking racist. They also have some of the most kick-ass names as a part of their selling point. So Flamingo's on a booze cruise. Definitely wearing that the next time I go to a swinger's house.
Yeah, they're swinging. Yeah,
absolutely.
Now I'm gonna have to look in my neighborhood and see who has a flamingo outside of the yard so I can laugh.
I'm telling you. There are more than you know. There's more of them than you know.
I think I want a pair of those Voight, the ones you're on currently. Yeah.
I think I have a pair of those behind me, as a matter of fact.
Oh, do you?
I think I do.
Bring those to the wedding, my boy.
I probably should. We should wear matching glasses or something. I don't know.
So what I'll tell you, Joel, is I think what you should do is head over to Goodr.com, buy a pair of sunglasses, any one, okay? And then make sure you go down to the bottom of the page, hit the contact us button, okay? And then write them a scathing email that lets them know how wrong they were for not sponsoring us sooner. Okay? Really, really dig into that Flamingo asshole and just let them know that they should have done this a long time ago, okay? And then buy yourself a pair of sunglasses while you're at it, of course, right? And just tell them the boy sent you. Okay? And then that way, when they see that BallisticBuilt CrossFit is getting them some traction, right? We can get the boys and the girls some extra pairs of sunglasses. Am I right? Because fuck, Texas is sunny and hot right now.
Yeah, fuck that. Colorado's not so much better. Fuck that place.
Yeah, but that altitude is real.
Yeah, that's rough.
I tried it. I was in Utah for a comp, and I didn't know Utah because didn't know my geography about altitude.
Yeah.
And so
he didn't look at the topographical map, everybody.
Yeah.
You see all the contour lines, like.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, pretty mountains, cool," but I didn't really think about it until I did my first event, and I was gasping for air. I had to use my wife's inhaler. That's how bad it was. Yeah. I couldn't breathe. Could not breathe.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, fucking A. You're
racist.
Joel for the rest of this episode. I'm sorry.
Joel, it's so easy. I've gotten it right every time.
It really is, though. It's 2 syllables.
I think it's Joel.
For the rest of our time together, you're Joel, but for the rest of this episode, you're Joel.
Just call him Yetti. That's his name on the screen, man. Just call him Yetti.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on short notice. We will be posting this episode. We'll send it to you. We'll put your username and handle on there. But if you want, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram if you know what it is. Yes. Some people don't.
Yes. So you can find me on Instagram at Yetti Esteban CF. Esteban Spanish, so you know Spanish.
Steven.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do there, man?
What?
What's trying to take my name in Spanish?
It is Steven, yeah. But in Spanish. But yeah.
Now who's the racist? Appropriation. You're taking a white man's name. You didn't even pay me for it.
Jesus.
It's Yetti Esteban CF Instagram. It's the only social media page I had it during COVID because I got bored, so I made a social media page. So you can find me there or at BlitzBelts. If you want to come in and drop in at BlitzBelts CrossFit, I'll be there too.
Well, everybody should head over to his Instagram page now and definitely just go check out his traps. They're massive. They got all the cool videos and pictures that he had.
What's that dude's name? The master athlete now. The one with the huge
Sam Dancer?
Not Sam Dancer.
Talking about
Dan Bailey?
Dan Bailey. The mountains on his neck.
Oh my God. He was on fucking TRT or some shit for a long time.
He's on something.
Yeah. He got bigger and he's like 40 years old. Almost. I don't know.
All he did was buy a shitty barn and try to keep up with Rich.
And he has
4 years and still a shit barn. But all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Joel has to get out of here. Ken,
I do too. I gotta pee.
Well, thank you for having me on, guys.
No problem, man. We'll have you back sometime soon.